the reaction portion. So I've picked out two videos. This one is called Manga is Art. So let's see what this is. Do I have that on? Okay, cool. Let's see what this is. It's a minute and 27 seconds. Um, so far I'm just seeing Berserk and Vagabond and Vinland and Vinland Saga, and I believe that all of these artists are obviously amazing. Like they are very good, but there's so much more. Clearly the person that put this together just really likes this type of art style. It's more realistic, and what's not to love? I do think it looks really cool, but that's just my initial take. So. Yeah, that was in. Okay. Well, first off, like I said, that art was really cool. I do believe. I mean, personally, I'm more of a cartoony guy. That's why I really like One Piece. Obviously, I loved Toriko. I thought that was really cool, fun. Naruto is kind of like like the most like realistic and yet plain looking comic like look wise. It's not nearly as cartoony as like One Piece, for instance, but there's still like a fantasy driven type of element to it. Obviously, well, not necessarily fantasy, just shonen, I guess, but I guess you could say fantasy. I mean, he has a giant fox inside of him. But I mean, regardless, um I think when it comes to Berserk, Vinland Saga, Vagabonds, those art styles are very amazing. They're heavily detailed. If you like those types of art, I would highly recommend looking at Underground because that is from Saturday AM. He actually won an award. This guy named JeyOdin. The entire comic is about this kickboxer who he was going to be an Olympic fighter, but something happened where he got into a fight with this gangster. He got his back broken, and then after years of training and getting back up to the level that he needed to be, he went on a search to find this gangster to take him out, and he goes to underground fighting. It's a really cool story. I highly recommend it. Volume 1 is out, and like I said, he won an award for that from Japan. Like there's pictures on our social media that have Japan coming in flying to give him an award. Like he was like one of the only Americans. Saturday AM got that award. Like it was really cool. Saturday AM has a lot of awards with a lot of different titles. So definitely check it out if you are interested in that type of art style. But if you're interested in other art styles or cartoonier art styles or more shonen or whatever the case may be, we have everything for you guys. So definitely check that out. And also, if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you want to watch the entire episode where I talk about the first chapter trap, do you really need to go to art school, and also writing comics if you're not a writer, definitely go to my Patreon with a link in the description and you can watch this video. But without further ado, this is what S tier manga art looks like. Let's do
What
this.
makes an art style appealing is not always correlated to its level of technical prowess. One Punch Man's original art still has a lot of charm, even though it's not nearly as pretty as the redrawing. Azumanga Daioh has a very simple look, yet has become a sort of cult classic online. But when an artist has great ideas and the skills of a professional to bring that to life, that lightning in a bottle combination is where you get manga like Gachiakata. It's drawn by Kei Urana, who worked on Soul Eater, and it's quickly becoming one of my favorite mangas to study and analyze. Because look at these illustrations, like how do you draw this? Notice how she draws eyes. Anime eyes are famously large and cat-like, making them one of its most recognizable features. But with this incredibly exaggerated design is the risk of becoming very iconographic with less experienced artists. When you're learning to draw and all you have to reference is hyper-stylized cartoons, it becomes very easy to forget that they're actually a real-life part of the body, and this is a mere abstraction of that. And even within the anime style, there are a million ways to simplify them, and the eyes of Gachiakata are no exception. They are absolutely massive and cartoonish, but they have a very clear and well-designed structure that removes any sense of uncanniness that you sometimes see in other styles. Do you see how the eyelashes have an actual material to them? Like they actually protrude from around the eyelids. And the tear ducts are also visible, which almost nobody ever draws. And look at the pupils. They're inside the lens of the eye, which is concave in real life, and makes them appear to warp like this when viewed from an angle. And this manga is full of unconventional angles. One of the most obvious signs of how knowledgeable an artist is in drawing the forms of the human body is how many unconventional angles they can draw it from. And Urana does not shy away from them whatsoever. There are some absolutely wacko face angles in here, especially during the
yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think this art style is absolutely amazing. I have not gotten a chance to read this, and I don't know why. Everybody tells me it's amazing. I've heard so many things about this. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Gachiakuta. I think the anime just came out. Apparently, it looks like a lot worse. Well, I mean, most animes look usually a lot worse than the actual manga. There are a few exceptions, obviously, but I mean, whatever. Anyway, I do want to check this out. I'm not exactly sure how many chapters are out there, but at some point I will check this out. If it's on the Shonen Jump app, I'll probably check it out there. But let's get to this.
fight scenes, and it's honestly hard to understate how impressive this is. Urana's eyes are like putty. They're twisted and exaggerated into these amazingly intense expressions despite how detailed the art is. It's just that one step out of realism and into cartoonishness that lets every character still be boiled down into comedic, rudimentary scribbles when the situation calls for it. Or we can talk about the hair, where like the eyes, structure is the key element. Urana draws hair as this very sturdy and clay-like substance, almost like the characters dunk their heads in a bucket of hair gel every morning. Instead of strands or locks, they have these rigid hair clumps that stick out in crazy geometric angles, and these hairstyles are rad. Look at this Binky kid. Like, how do you come up with that? It comes from years and years of studying real life eyes and hair, that deep understanding that leads you to experiment like this. Once you're knowledgeable enough in the art fundamentals to accurately depict reality, you can begin to twist and exaggerate it to fit your own personal tastes, which Urana also does by making everyone really bony. Look at those clavicles, look at that radius, and look at those hands. It's drawn with thick, rugged lines that fit the tone of the dystopian world it takes place in, and these lines are infectious. They spread into the panel borders themselves, which, speaking of, we gotta talk about the paneling. The paneling in this manga is awesome. I love when manga panels break their own conventions and start getting all artistic and non sequitur. In Gachiakata, the panels will often warp to match the psychological states of the characters. When shit is going down, the panels start distorting and threaten to break out of the pages. It reminds me of Ping Pong. Not the game, the 1996 manga about the game. The art alone is incredibly unique, but equally creative is the paneling. Look at this. Everything is linear and conventional until a game starts and the page is shattered into 100 chaotic frames. Triangular panels, hexagonal panels. Weird.
Yeah, I really like what he's saying right here. Paneling is, that's actually something I'm going to be talking about at some point as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But earlier in the Patreon video, I talked about how I just ordered like a bunch of different comic book making books and stuff like that. I already had one from Scott McCloud. I'm rereading that. I haven't read it in a very long time. So I'm rereading that. I actually just got the Iraqi book, something I've been wanting to read for a very long time. I also have the Will Eisner sequential art and comic books. That's getting sent to me. I ordered that. And there's also one more book from Saturday AM called Making Manga that's getting sent to me. I'm very excited to read all of these. I want to get all of the knowledge put into my head. I'm going to see if I can find some more. But I just have been wanting to, get more into my craft and like learn even more. And what he's saying about paneling is very true. Obviously you can use it like Gachiakuta, and I said it right. And you can, have it be the mental state of the character that is, doing whatever they need to do on the page to, maybe just intensify whatever, issues they're having, or, whatever the case may be. Or you can use it like this, where it's like super action packed and very quick and fast paced, and you have a billion panels on one page. Paneling is, sometimes difficult as well, though. So, this is where thumbnails come in, which, at some point in time, I will be talking about that. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But let's finish the rest of this video.
Unpredictable pace of a ping pong match. Genius. Manga with art like Gachiakuta are few and far between. The highest possible compliment I can give to it is that I am currently using it as my main source of references to study from. Like, there is just that much to learn from this. It's the type of art that makes you look at your own stuff like, what the hell am I doing? Everything is top tier. Anatomy, gesture, character designs, inking. Surely there's something wrong with it. At least the backgrounds are bad, right? And it's a weekly series? How do you draw this shit every week? Plus you've got the graffiti art, drawn by Ando Hideyoshi, which is, do I even need to explain why this is cool? It's got the exaggerated swagger of a Japanese mangaka, like these belong on a wall somewhere, or as a big spray painted mural somewhere in Tokyo, honestly. Everything about this comic is so extra and over the top, and all I'm saying is, if Trigger doesn't get their hands on this, I will human instrumentality all of Japan.
So, first off, let me just say that, that was a pretty cool video. I definitely want to check out Gucci Okada. I've heard so many good things, and now that I know it's on Weekly Show and Jump, let me look at my phone. Let me see if it's actually on that app real quick. That's my waiting music. Gachiakuta. No, it's not there. It's not there. That's a bummer. I thought it was on here. What is on here, which is hilarious, is Manga in Theory and Practice, which is, oh, you have to buy it. Okay. Well, it's a good thing I already got the actual book. But anyway, yeah, that's a bummer, man. I mean, maybe I'll see if I can find it online somewhere. But yeah, that was a cool video, and I totally agree. That dude's art style was amazing. When I saw the thumbnail, to be honest with you, I thought he was actually showing My Hero Academia, who also has an amazing art style. I really like. It's kind of like a mixture of. It's just like, hardcore manga anime. That's what it looks like. It's just really, really cool. If you've made it this far into the video, then thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think you'll like probably some of these videos right here. Maybe subscribe and, click that notification bell so that way you can be notified the next time I put out another video. And if you want to watch the entire full episode, then go to my Patreon and pledge as little as $5. Everything is in the description box below. Deuces.